When you think of the Greeks, it would be fair to say that images of Mount Olympus and Zeus holding thunderbolts in the clouds come to mind, yes? But when you think of Islam, do you think of supernatural beings that can shapeshift and bend the elements better than the Avatar? No? Well, in today's video, you're going to get a sneak peek into the mythology of Islam with the Djinns and see just how they would stack up if they faced off against the gods of Olympus. This is History Unfolded: Gods vs. Djinns. First off, you may be asking yourself, what on earth is a Djinn? And rightly so. Djinns are supernatural beings created before mankind by Allah from the smokeless fire, with free will and powers all their own. They come in various hierarchies and different power sets, though the strongest and wisest among them, the Marid, have not only enormous physical strength and the power to shapeshift, but also the power to bend the very elements to their will. There are lesser Djinns as well, called the Jann, and evil Djinns called Shaitan Djinns, who also exist. The Jinn can be either good or bad, as is their choice, and have the potential to lead men astray or assist them in times of need. They aren't physical beings like humans are, but rather they're spiritual and live incredibly long lives. Whilst they may have free will, it is ultimately Allah and other divine laws that shape the strength of a Jinn and define what they can and cannot do. That is the essence of the Jinn. Now, as for the Greek gods, they practically need no introduction. A pantheon of them exists with Zeus at the head and his siblings Hades and Poseidon governing other matters beside him. They are omnipotent, albeit flawed, supernatural beings with divine powers who tend to dabble in the lives of mankind and rule over them. They aren't necessarily good or bad, mostly contenting themselves to do as they see fit in the world, regardless of the consequences it had to the lives they affected. This is where our verses gets interesting. You see, under normal circumstances, there's no question that the gods of Olympus would have no trouble wiping the proverbial floor with the Djinns. Whilst powerful, Djinns are not omnipotent, nor are they gods in any sense. Rather, they're finite beings with long but limited lifespans. If a concerted effort was made by the gods to wipe out the Djinns, they wouldn't have a lot of trouble. However, this is where we peer into the looking glass of what ifs and allow a new history to unfold. Before us, the messenger god Hermes uses his speed and agility to race through the desert, a proclamation in his hand to declare to the Greeks that a new enemy has been discovered, the Djinns. Allah has forewarned the Djinns, however, good and evil, that an enemy is being arrayed against them, and if they wish to survive the coming onslaught, they must band together and adapt, or die by the hands of the Olympian gods. Though the Djinns aren't used to coming together for anything, this circumstance and Allah's blessing to use the fullest extent of their powers awakens in them a determination unlike any they have had before. Temporarily setting aside their differences, the most powerful Djinns unite, led by one of the greatest Djinns to exist, Azazel, and they concoct a plan to trap Hermes and defeat him. As Hermes races through the desert, an oasis glitters in the distance, one that Hermes, a lover of knowledge and treasures, simply could not resist. Thinking nothing for his safety, since he is a god after all, he enters the oasis, only to discover that something seems off. He attempts to use his speed and agility to flee, but realizes far too late that he's been trapped in a dimensional rift, and his greatest strength, his speed, is useless. The trap is sprung, and the mighty Marid Djinn use their mastery of the elements to raise pillars of fire against Hermes, whilst the lesser Djinn hurl elements of water and earth as well. The dark magic of the Shaitan attempt to cloud the mind of Hermes in order to ensure the success of the Djinn's attacks. Hermes is still a god, however. With a roar of defiance, he uses his famous staff, the Caduceus, to negate the effects of the elements and hurls mighty whirlwinds to nullify their attacks. The Djinn don't let up, however, and Hermes is preoccupied with their assault. Unbeknownst to him, Azazel, the lead Djinn, uses an ancient gift given to him for just this purpose, the Seal of Solomon, a powerful ring that could control and subdue the supernatural. Hermes would normally have been able to use his cunning to see through such a ploy, but with dark magic clouding his mind and a relentless barrage keeping him occupied, he doesn't see it coming. The Seal of Solomon binds Hermes, paralyzing him, though he's far too powerful to be controlled or even harmed. The Djinns know this, however, and now that their collective might isn't being used in attacks, they combine their power to trap Hermes in a powerful web of spiritual energy, strong enough that even he cannot break free without assistance. The Djinn then leave Hermes to his dimensional prison, locked away until someone or something comes to free him. The Djinns let out a roar of triumph, having bested the first of what they hope will be many foes. They know they couldn't have defeated a god on the open field, but using their cunning, today they prevailed. Stepping back from our looking glass, we can see that in such a scenario, the Djinns may have a chance, but ultimately, if the gods united in their efforts to conquer the Djinns, it would be no contest. Perhaps though, if Allah intervened, it might be a different story. Who knows? Maybe that could be a story for a different time. For now though, we hope you enjoyed History Unfolded, Djinns versus Gods. Let us know what other versus videos you'd like to see in the comments, and we'll make it happen. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video.